I hope it's diamonds.
Diamonds
to appear.
Right, we are now recording, so a big welcome to everybody, and thank you so much for the A team, the consistent team, the ones that are winning team. A big shout out to Curtis, who's got somebody enrolled today, so very, very exciting. And well done Beverly with her call to America yesterday, and Power Hour with Jules and Mary and everybody doing so well. And what I was going to say, actually, sorry, I interrupted you, Rob, I didn't hear, you were talking earlier, is that we mustn't be demotivated that there's only a handful of us. You know, we've got 9 people on this call. They say that in an entire organization, you just need 5 that really, really go for it. So, you know, it's just a numbers game, and we all know that, and we are doing the do, and it will come good. Yeah. So after watching David Hunt's call a couple of weekends ago, when we really saw the power of edification, I made some notes from that, put it straight to practice on the Monday with Jules, Brenda and Hiran, who signed up on first class pretty well straight afterwards. And then obviously Tyler, obviously he didn't know that we'd been doing it, but he then did a training on it as well the other night. So these are my notes from what I took from David Hunt. I should have watched Tyler's training again, but that is there for all to see. So you can double check with that on the team Facebook group. But edification undoubtedly is hugely powerful in endorsing both the sponsor and the original TSA. So it kind of needs to work both ways. So the little process that I have got here and how we did it, and Jules, please feel free to interrupt if I miss bits out, because Jules and I had a brief chat about it, didn't we, before we did the call with Brenda. So there were actually 3 sponsors essentially on the call that we did. So we had Jules, Brenda is her lady, and then Hiran was her contact. So I sent Jules a couple of little paragraphs on me, just bullet pointed, and she then added her own, you know, her own magic and, you know, the real story of how we met, etc. And threw in a few nice little complimentary nuggets along the way. So if you haven't already, make a point of just jotting down half a dozen or so little bullet points about your background, why you got involved in iBoomerang, why you think it's special, and if you've had a tip-off of the person that is on the call, if you're clever, you can then just add a couple of things that you know are going to resonate with that person. So if you know you've got a similar background, or they're recently divorced, or they've just been made redundant, or here's Brenda, yay, we're just talking about you. Hi Brenda, we're just talking about edification today, for those that have just joined us. So, so yeah, make a few notes and send it to whoever is going to be edifying you. So everybody's got a few little bullets. I got it from Jodie as well the other day. I did edification.
You did an amazing job with her, Debbie. I was like, bloody hell, that was amazing.
Well, when Beverly always asks for my notes, I always think, oh, well, I must have done quite a good job of Beverly.
I changed them and I sent them to Rob, and then he ignored them.
Brilliant. Well, they'll all go in circulation, and I'm obviously, you know, I want everybody, we've got a duplicatable system, so I'm very happy to share what I do. So how did Brenda, Jules and I do it? So Jules and Brenda basically came on, they introduced themselves, because actually Brenda hadn't met Hiran, and then Jules did a big up to me, didn't you, Jules?
Yeah, yes, I introduced you, but I came on, so Brenda was Hiran's sponsor, and then I was Brenda's sponsor, but then we wanted to edify you, Debbie, as our sapphire, you know, to really big you up and give him, so he was like, he really felt the vibe as well. He said, I feel the energy with it.
Can I also say that my big learning was the fact that you use Brenda's or your Zoom, you don't use Debbie's.
Absolutely,
so Debbie's being invited for a 15 minute boom, short, she's busy, etc. So
I think you should always use, whoever is the sponsor, I think you should always use their Zoom code.
Yeah. Yes, that is a very, very good point, and that is exactly what we did. And also, I made it very clear that, sorry Mary, were you going to say something?
Sorry, I was just going to interrupt, because that's something that Tyler said
was that you should never be waiting for the person to come on. You should be the person who's presenting the OP should be the last person to come in, so that they arrive because they're an amazing person and they sparing all this amazing time with us. Yeah. You're not hanging around waiting. It does a different emphasis.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. So that's something, we didn't do it on this particular occasion, but you can just, you know, Jules, Brenda and Hiran could have just had a brief chit chat, and then Brenda could have quietly WhatsApped me to say, right, come now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is all about urgency, and it's also about setting a timeline, which I forgot to do when I used him for edification last week. Andy's not on the call, but I won't go into that. But it's good to say, you know, if I appear, then Jules could have, in fact, you did say, look, Debbie's got 15-20 minutes. So obviously we want to make the best use of her time. And then that gives me a get out as well to then leave you guys to it. I can set it up to close and then leave you guys to it to close. So after I've come on, I then, you know, we make it very clear. I introduce myself, tell him a little bit about me, and then ask a few leading questions to engage him. Now, it's really important to continue to ask open-ended questions to keep them engaged and not then just do an entire monologue. So with him, he had just been made redundant. He was into his fitness, you know, there was just a little bit of a chit chat about that and sort of establish common ground. So I guess the next point is establish common ground. And then you do that by asking them questions. Then throw it back to them, because the reason that I was on the call, everybody that goes on these three-way calls have either watched our video or they've been on one of the opportunity call presentation Zooms. So hopefully they're in a position to then want to ask you some questions. And in fact, Debs is on the call now. We did a lovely three-way as well with her friend the other day, and same sort of thing. So we then open it up and let them ask their questions. And at that point, always make the sponsor a co-host, because what does really work and gets them excited is if I can show, you know, visual is so much more powerful. So then I can show my screen. You know, if they, Hiran was asking a lot of questions about the codes. So I very quickly went and said, oh, you know, that's something you do from your back office. And this is the poster that I put together. But actually, we've just learned how to do this incredible one-click link that takes the customer straight through to the portal. And it's just giving them that energy and posture and positiveness and excitement. Now, mirroring is something that Andy always talks about with his business coaching, and I'm just going to make a little point about that. So again, in the general chit chat, if they say something that they've done or something that they find a bit tricky, you know, it's all that feel, felt, found. Yes, I felt exactly the same way when I was first approached, but actually what I found is I learnt on the job. Honestly, you do not need to have lots of knowledge before you get going with this business. You know, we're all here to help you, and you learn as you go along. It's incredible. So think about mirroring and just ways, again, that you can resonate and relationship build. Now, there were 3 key questions that I got out of the call I had with David. Actually, it's all coming back to me now. I wasn't watching David Hunt. He phoned me, didn't he, after his thing a couple of weeks ago. And this is when I made the notes afterwards. And he says there are always 3 big questions that he asks when he's asked to come on and, you know, help one of his TSAs. And that is, how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to make from this? And even though it doesn't really matter, it's just good to have that. And you can say, it's really good for us to know that, because we're going to keep you accountable to that figure. We are going to keep you accountable. And, you know, it's our job as your sponsors to, you know, make sure that happens. The other key question he says he always asks is, how much time have you got to put into this? And then again, it's that level of support. Okay, you've only got 2 hours. Well, we can give you the numbers to know how many outreach you probably need to make in that time to get, I don't know, 10% of people over the line, or 10% of people on a call, and then 10% of that 10% over the line. So again, it's just offering a level of support where they're thinking, gosh, you know, these guys really do know what they're doing and they're going to help us. And then his closing question, because at this point he's probably done his 15-20 minutes, And he just throws it out there. And I always remember this from my sales training in my, agency and publishing days. Ask for the business. Never be frightened to ask for the business. So he just goes, so which pack are you going to start on then? And literally just ask them. And I did that, didn't I, to hear him. And he was like, well, I think I can probably only start on Coach and da-da-da. So I quickly shared my screen again and put up the slide where you had the Coach business in first. And I went, well, that's absolutely fine. It's £250. But just so, I just want to make sure you understand the value of coming in on first class. And I went through those three, help more, save more, get paid more. And then, do you remember, Brenda, I pulled up the lovely slide that Beverly had done with how much money you can earn if you get
absolutely
started. And I think that swayed him, and he signed up on first. So I'm so glad that we had such a successful first call.
Yeah, it was good.
David's little messages into practice. But yeah, I think also the other question actually he says that sometimes comes up is, what is your motivation? So maybe 4 questions. Because again, if you can sort of dig down a little bit to what their why is and why they're doing this, and again, then you can mirror them with the, feel, felt, found, gosh, there's someone on our team that's in exactly the same position. She lost her job, she was in events. There's always somebody now. There's so many of us that we genuinely have some really, really good stories. And actually, what's great about our synergy with David Hunt's team is that we're hearing more stories. I mean, I love the story of his guy that went on the honeymoon, met a guy on his honeymoon, and he booked his honeymoon and saved over $1,000 or something, paid for his first class just on the savings from his honeymoon. Met someone on the honeymoon, and he, unbeknown to him, the guy who he'd given the code to on his honeymoon booked a trip, and he came back and he had 1,000, I think it was 1,200 quid or something in his back office, and he phoned David and went, they paid me all this money, they must have made a mistake, I haven't brought anyone in this week, what's going on? And it transpired that it actually was from one of the holiday bookings pre-lockdown. So this is going to start happening to us, guys, get those codes out, because more and more stories that we can talk firsthand. And that, in a nutshell, to be honest, I don't really need to elaborate on that. If we can stick to that, for those that came on the call late, do just write half a dozen little bullet points. And we don't need to, publish these in the wider group, but whoever is edifying you, just send them a WhatsApp beforehand. And then I guess for, I don't know, people like Rob, Andy, Beverly, Mary, Curtis, myself, I should start a little file on everybody's edification notes, so I can just tap into them as we do more and more.
They're in my notes already, Debbie.
Yeah, I've done mine as well in my notes. But yeah, you need to send me yours, and vice versa, as we all support and help each other. So has anybody got any questions on that? Does that all make sense?
Can Beverly, because she's so organised, send me my edification?
You can rewrite mine to make them yours, Rob, and then you can send them to me.
Oh, no, I think Jodie wants mine on hers as well. On her.
I know, I was like, bloody hell, who is this person? No, but what I was going to say is a big learning that I learned over the weekend, if you've got your own Zoom account, which most of us have, if you go and Google Zoom and then enter your account like normally, have to put your email address in and code, you can then change your settings. So I didn't have mine allowing co-hosts, which I've now added. I've basically switched off so nobody can write on my screen. So I switched, nobody can do that. So you can go through, and there's just literally about 20 buttons you can go through and go yes, no, yes, no. So I've set my Zoom up, so I'm really happy with it now. So if that's you, I would just go through and do that, because having co-host makes it so much easier, obviously, with the likes of Rob and us and doing stuff. So I did that yesterday. So just so you know.
And on that note, I'm going to make Rob a co-host. Have you got the slide of the computer quickly at hand, Rob?
It's an Excel spreadsheet, Debbie. It's really not difficult.
Yeah, I've got it up. I can share my screen, Rob, but I just thought if you share yours.
Let Rob do what he did yesterday, because it worked really well. I mean, we copied David Hunt and we basically went through it, and it was just like really easy. So just go through what we did yesterday, Rob.
Rob, unmute yourself.
Cool.
Okay.
Near me, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, then, guys. Yeah, so this is why I'm in. Okay, so this is if you're building this business literally just by yourself, not need to bring anyone to the team, and just giving out codes, right? So if I've got a mission of just doing one person a day for 1 year. That's me giving 365 codes out. Okay, and we've already know, I've done the slide prior where we're saving $600, but let's just make it really, really watered down, and they call it $60. And having 365 customers saving $60 over that year would give me, why is that not?
Go outside the box, it should just do it automatically. Oh, well done.
Oh no, it was going so well.
Hang on, all is not lost. I'll try Curtis's one. Why is that just suddenly done that?
No, I don't know why that's happened unless you've deleted the actual
Some.
equation.
He did this one to my one as well the other day.
Did he really? Oh dear me. That wasn't
not
very
lost.
successful, was it, Rob? So what we did also is just say no. So the page where it says, you know, the $3,000 is $6,000, yeah? That's the page we brought this in. So we waited till we got our customer slide and then we brought it in there, yeah? No, you managed to ruin that one as well, Rob.
Again, we only fix it now.
There.
I enjoyed it to do it.
I was so excited
I've
there.
just done it on a calculator.
Got it.
I'll share my screen.
Rob, just
I've got it. I just did it. Rob,
Sorry?
stop sharing.
I'll share mine, Debbie.
Okay, well, I've got it up as well. Okay, I'll let you go.
all you need to do is just quickly put in the formula.
Well,
Oh,
tell you
it
what, I'll do the talking and you can just put the buttons in.
Okay, well, I need to be able to, I can't share.
Okay, let me do mine because I just had
No,
it.
you haven't allowed me to share, but anyway, it's fine.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, it's there in yours, Debbie.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was just having a play with it when Rob came on. So
we've got 365 customers. Okay, doing £60 saving over the year. Okay,
£10,000, nearly £11,000.
that's right. Yeah, good. All right.
Coolio. So I just had a little play because I'm up to something like this morning.
Right. Okay. So then we're looking. Okay. So now we're looking at having. Let's continue to build that for 2 years. So that's literally just getting one person over 2 years. So that's 730. Okay. Let's leave it at the 100 there. That's fine. That's no problem. So let's leave a conservative.
Click somewhere else, Debbie, so it changes, mate. You have to click somewhere.
It did change.
It's changed.
It did change. Look, that's saving £200.
Oh,
Okay, and then that gives you right. So there
Wow.
we go. 200, so you got £200 saving on an average, gives you 73,000 over that year. All right. So let's now look at. We've got 730 customers, and I've done a lot of work for that because I've literally individually given those out. Now it's 2 years old. We've definitely got that system in place where these customers would now share amongst themselves. And remember, I've already done the spiel of the fact that they've been incentivized to share as well. So as I continue to build this over like a 4 or 5 year window, this is my business plan. I'm going to have 10,000 customers in my organization. So if you put 10,000 in there, please, Debbie.
This is also your 4-year business plan, Rob.
Yeah, I've already said that. Yeah. So this is me giving my 4-year business plan, and we're looking at a little save. Let's call it conservative of around £60 saving for each one of those members. Okay, that's given me a 300,000 year income. Right. What have you got planned for a 5-year business plan, which is going to give you that income, you know, over that time frame, which is incredible, right? So now let's just look at this. Okay, so we've got 10,000 customers now, and I want us to look at 5 years. We're looking at 5 years, right? This is when this PRIB has now got countless, like in the next 16 months, we're looking at having 9 other services and products on our PRIB. So we're looking at 5 years. I don't even know how many products and services we're going to have. Now let's make this really, really conservative, and we've only got a £5 saving. Okay, and then so all our customers over that 1 month have saved £5, $5, whatever you want to call it. That's 25,000 per month. That's why I'm in this.
Happy days.
I think that's really, really powerful. And when David showed this in his presentation at the weekend, that's I thought this is so powerful that if it's going to be in every presentation, then I think you'll get, certainly for me, more ears will prick up, and it will, and it's only by sending codes out as well. And that's, for me, was the really powerful bit, just by sending a code out. So it wasn't bringing anybody else into your team, it's just by sending codes out.
And
So
what
the
I did this
simplicity
morning,
of it.
yeah, what I did this morning, I did exactly this pretty much. And then I went on to the business one. And now this is another way I can build this, is through leverage, right? And I've got the slide now with the one on the, Debbie, the one you gave me this morning. And I've just spoke about the leverage. And this is, you know, when you're building a team, you're now earning a percentage off your team. And this is such a watered down one at 10%. And then, you know, and then you've got your own stuff going on. Now you've got your team as well. If you decide to build there, this is why, you know, why it's such an awesome.
Can I, Beverly, whilst we've got this up, because I can't get into this and change this, can I?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay, so what I would like to see is, oh, hang on.
iGo customers.
Yeah, your iGo customers, and then copy and paste
Make it into
this,
an I rather than an L, yeah?
and then have your, and then change this calculation so it's 3%. Do you see what I mean? So then,
I think it confuses it. It being on the same chart, confusing it. I can do the Vibride one separately because it is a separate workout, but as in the way that they've done it is very different to this. You can't just do this.
you get paid 3% of fair. Yeah, that's what I would like to see. Because actually, when you're doing these three-way calls, it's quite useful.
F-A-R-E, Debbie.
Thank you. It's quite useful to be able to pop this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I still, okay, I'm not going to say, I'm not sure yet. I just think it adds an awful lot of extra time. I think what Rob just said, the really quick one of the 2.5.
Can I just say something? Really, people need to see this. I definitely the custom one. I don't know whether the Vibride at the moment is the right thing to put because we haven't got it here. But that custom one took Rob an extra 2 minutes. It was very powerful, and I think absolutely should be there. We're doing the corporate presentation. We're not doing the zip, the sizzle one, and we're going to do that this week on our 6 p.m. and lunchtime calls. And I'm going to do the front half and share it with Rob. And we've sussed out how to do the screens really easily. So we're all ready to go, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't ask you how to do that now. I'm off the grid this week, so you'll have to teach me how to do that next Monday.
Yeah, cool.
Because I have no idea how to go from one screen to another quickly, like David Hunt has. He's got it all on the same platform along the top.
Yes, well, I do that as well. It's very easy. But anyway, that's cool.
Okay, well, you'll have to give me a lesson next Monday.
No problem.
Cool, okay.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, actually, no, carry on. Sorry.
No,
Ignore me.
Stop sharing now.
Of course you can ask a question, Debbie.
Go for it.
No, because it wasn't actually relevant. Sorry.
It doesn't matter, we finished that now. We're on to the next thing.
Only because what reminded me, Debbie, is that you're away this week. And obviously, as you know, I've got a couple of people teetering on the edge that need pushing.
Speak to Rob.
I can help anytime, seriously.
Okay. That's all I was asking, if there's anybody that would volunteer, if I get them over.
If they're a bloke, you might ask Rob or whatever, or just work out who's going to resonate best with them and then just go for it, because we all help each other.
Yeah, we've done three-way calls already. It was just if they go, yeah, I'm in, and then we need to do a back office tour or the welcome. Do you know what I mean? That's all I wanted, to know that somebody was there.
That's fine.
Thank you. Thanks.
Don't worry. And I am at the end of a phone, Debbie. I'm not going to sit and do a half-hour welcome call, but I'm at the end of the phone for questions.
Okay.
Yeah, but you also need some time out, Debbie, as well. So
yeah, you do. You do. Take the time out.
I need to actually not be in front of a computer because I've got repetitive strain injury and my shoulder is so, every day it just gets worse and worse, and I just don't know what I can do because I need to be
sunbathing. You need to be sunbathing.
That's what you do need, exactly.
I'm going to stop recording at this juncture.
Okay, sorry.
We'll start chit-chatting.